I wanted to ask you about cycling because you had mentioned that you had gotten into some gravel riding. Is this true? Is this something new for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So as I mentioned at the start, I would have been a crap swimmer, an okay runner, and an average but improving cyclist. So back in 2017 and 2018, we set up a Galway Babes, BAYBES for Galway Bay, because we live in Galway Bay. So 4 of us got together and we set up an endurance cycling team to race around Ireland, to complete the race. 2,500 kilometers as a team of 4 women from God knows where, with no background in this kind of stuff, other than one of the girls would have been a really, really good cyclist. But we did it and we set the Irish record. We didn't win the race. There was a wonderful team of Australian females with an Irish influence came over and beat us, but we set a new Irish record that year. And then the following year we went to Donegal, which is just up in the northwest of the country, and we did 555k and we set the record there and won the race. We were delighted. We beat loads of men as well, which was even better. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Anyway, then of course it got really busy with work. So the end of 18 into 19, I was like, I'm so sick of cycling. I've been training like a pro. I need to focus on my business, and life was just getting really, really busy. And then coming into 2020, the pandemic hit and suddenly it was like, oh, actually there's nothing to do. So I'm going to go back cycling again. So all the fitness I lost and the COVID stone I had on before COVID, I started to lose that, as well as the COVID stone I put on during COVID. And I just kind of got into the Zwifting and I started loving cycling again and the freedom. And even when we only had a 5k radius within which we were allowed to exercise, we still managed to find routes that we could do. We did a weekend of 400k within a 5k radius over 3 days for charity, a couple of us. So I kind of just made do with what we had. And then my cycling partner, Karen, who I was training with, did a 24-hour bike race last October. And then she was like, Joe, really, you're doing a lot of training. You're back. You're probably fitter now than when we did Race Around Ireland and Donegal. Would you consider doing one? Would you do a pair? Would you do solo? And I was like, oh, I don't know. So anyway, long story short, I'm doing my first ultra solo race, 12 hours at the Ballinrobe Ultra. It's around the ambulance track of a horse racing track for 12 hours on the 12th of March. And in the meantime, I decided that all the girls are doing gravel biking and I really don't like road racing. I haven't road raced other than like a time trial or a long endurance race. I just don't like it. I'm awful afraid of bunch riding and racing. And myself and Karen were chatting here over Christmas and we were like, or before Christmas, I was like, oh, the diary's going to get really busy. You know, what do we do? And then the next thing, the girls are all going out cycling at night on their gravel bikes. I was like, hey, I want a piece of this. So a friend of mine brought me up the mountains on his gravel bike, maybe 3 weeks ago now at this stage. I loved it. It was the second time I'd been gravel biking in about 3 years. And that Wednesday I bought a bike. I was like, I'm just buying a bike. So I bought a beautiful black Orbea Terra H40 gravel bike. So I now have Freddie, who is my road bike. I have Teddy, who's my TT bike. I have Jerry the Giant, who is my very first road bike in Galway. I still have him. And now I have this beautiful Orbea Terra, whose name currently is Ola. But we might change that now because it's only its temporary name, just so we get a proper name. But so I love it. So now I've gone mad. So I have the 12-hour bike race in Ballinrobe. And then before that, I have 3 gravel spins booked in. So I'm doing a Cycling Connacht women's MTB and gravel spin, a regional event next Sunday. And then the following week, I'm doing a bog trial. So I'm doing a race on the gravel bike. I've only cycled it twice, but I'm doing a race on the gravel bike. And then 2 weeks later, I'm doing a 40k race up in Mayo on the gravel bike again, just for the fun of it, just because I can.
Just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it.